They say you should never go into the Blackwood Forest alone. It has a reputation. People who go in, well, they don't always find their way out. Alex was an experienced hiker. He'd heard the local legends, but he didn't buy into old wives' tales. That was his first mistake. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the trail Alex had been following just vanished. It was there 1 minute. Gonete next. The trees seemed to lean in, their branches interlocking, swallowing the last bits of daylight. A strange, heavy fog began to creep up from the forest floor, blanketing everything in a thick, gray soup. A bone-deep chill filled the air. The silence was absolute, except for the crunch of his own boots on the dead leaves. He pulled out his GPS. The screen was frozen. No signal. He was utterly and completely alone. He needed shelter, a place to wait for morning. Pushing through a curtain of thick vines, he stumbled into a small clearing. And there it was. Not a cave, but an old forestry outpost. A small wooden cabin, weathered and gray, looking like it hadn't seen a soul in 50 years. The windows were caked with grime, but it seemed sturdy enough. As he approached, the door creaked open on its own, a silent invitation into the gloom. Inside, it was surprisingly tidy. A single desk, an old oil lantern, and a dusty logbook, left open as if waiting for him. Alex fumbled with his matches and lit the lantern. A warm, golden light filled the small space, pushing back the oppressive shadows. For the first time in hours, he felt a flicker of safety. He sat at the desk and picked up the logbook. The entries were all from half a century ago. He flipped to the very last page, curious about the final entry. His heart stopped. The ink on the last page was still wet. In fresh, looping script, it read, "Don't let the fire go out. They are watching from the trees." Alex's head snapped up. He stared out the dusty windows. The fog was now pressed against the glass, thick and swirling, and in the mist, at the edge of the clearing, he saw them. Tall, dark silhouettes, perfectly still, not moving, just watching. Suddenly, the lantern flame sputtered. The cabin door slammed shut with a deafening bang, the lock clicking into place. Alex scrambled to the door, yanking on the handle, but it was sealed tight. He turned back to the window. The silhouettes were closer now, right at the edge of the glass. The air in the room dropped, becoming icy cold. Back on the desk, the logbook pages fluttered wildly, settling on a new, blank page. As he watched in horror, new words began to form, the ink bleeding onto the paper. "Welcome home, Alex." Then, the lantern went out, plunging him into total darkness. The sounds of the forest ceased. All he could hear was a low, rhythmic thumping, coming not from outside, but from the very walls of the cabin around him. This wasn't a shelter. It was a trap, and Alex was about to become the newest legend of Blackwood Forest.